Hello, welcome back to the channel. Good to have you back. Right, a quick update. So this is the Van Rysel NCR. It is the lower spec. I've changed a few things on it, not to upgrade it, just to make it enjoyable for me to test. That's all in another video. I hope it's not too windy, but this is just an update to actually bring you up to date on some of the, how would I say it? Well, emphasize the points that I've highlighted before that I would say will become problems in ownership. Now, I started off this by not liking the wheels, then saying that they were okay. And I will go back to actually not liking the wheels. And the reason being is that as I zoom in, you can see that there are tiny bits of corrosion. Now, okay, I am by the sea here where we are in Tenerife, but I am not riding them on gritty, shitty, horrible roads. And you can already see, I know there's a high salt content in the air where we are here, because we're right by the sea, but they are already beginning to rust. I must only have, I've got under 1,000 Ks on this bike. I think that's piss poor. I treat it quite well. And no, I treat it very well. I treat all my kit very well. As you could see from the Claude Butler video for my old commuter bike, it's in tip-top condition. I've had it years. So this is not really a good sign at all. Yes, it's built down to a price. Yes, it was only €1,500. The upgrades that I've made, well, I wouldn't say upgrades. The actual improvements that I've made have just been for comfort purposes. They've not been to save really that much weight. They've just maintained it from 10 to 11 speed. And to put a group shift that a group set that I like on it, which is a Microshift Centos shifters, front mech, but I've got a 105 wide on the rear. Now, the other point that I want to tell you, if you were thinking about buying these, and I did say it early on, is the paint. Now, if you can see in there, I had a chain drop on one of my hill climbs. And the hill climbs here, I would say, are quite savage. You know, today I've been out and I've been averaging a climb that was probably 7-8K, and the average is probably about 9%, 9 to 10%. So there's quite a lot of stress going through the bike. I had a my chain drop, and it went and it scratched the paint. It wasn't that bad. Now, this has picked up other scratches, and I'm not happy, guys. I'm not happy at all. Reason being is that they're going to be hard to touch in because of the colour of the paint. So let's make that very, very clear. And I just find it's not very robust. It looks amazing. It's quite thick, so I'd say that this is what's causing a lot of the weight increase, or a lot of the weight on the bike is probably down to the paint. But it's not really of that higher quality. It looks great. It's just fucking scratches so easy. So these are the points that sort of longer down the road, you know, if this was my only bike and this was the only bike that I was riding, I think it would show up. The other thing is as well is, look, if you have a look here, this is what I like about the bike, but this is where I'm going to ask the question. And I told you I do this because I'm fucking honest. I'm not a bullshitter, and I don't mind calling out my own stuff just for the, you know, for the fact of being, just asking questions, because, you know, there's no, you don't get medals for being the fucking top dick of everything and being the best of everything and having the best of everything. Now, this frame here, it says it's got tyre clearance for up to 35mm. I would only run 32s in this confidently, but maybe you can run 35s. It comes to 28, but it does say that it's on and off-road ready. Now, if this was off-road and you were using this as a gravel bike a lot, this would be scratched to fuck. It really would. It would be absolutely scratched to fuck if I was using this for gravel. It's not because I'm hard on my kit. I'm not a dickhead to my kit. It's just not very well finished. Again, the tyres. Now, I quite like the tyres for what they are. Okay, they come up, they're quite big and balloony. They come up quite nice. I've got them at 80 PSI. They roll all right. They're better than I thought they would be. But look, so they're Fusion 5s. But fucking hell, look at them. They're beginning to decolour already from the sun. And it's not even in direct sunlight. So yeah, it's hot where we are. Don't get me wrong. It's the middle of summer. Probably, you know, you're looking at around about 40 degrees maximum every day now. That's the max. Probably it's comfortable as 35. But it's just a fucking finish. So I did say that I would bring you the truth about it, and the cost of the build is down to the finish. Now, the more I ride this bike, I've got to ask the question, what and who is it for? Now, a lot of the climbs that I like doing where I am at the moment in Tenerife are over 6%. Now, this bike is not thriving at over 6%. Let's be sure. It isn't, because the weight, this is about 8.8 kilos, the weight of this bike. It is a cheap bike. It's 1,500 euros, right? 1,500 euros. It's a cheap bike. But then, as we're getting down to this point, the beauty of this bike, like I said before, is actually the negative point of this bike. It doesn't do anything outstandingly. It doesn't do anything really, really well. It does everything good. That's it. Okay, but that, on the other side, is it's positive. It can do everything that you ask of it. But then again, that's that thing where it begins to leave you wanting. Because if I'm in an environment, so say if this was my only bike, I came on holiday here, put it in the bike bag, I would be worried about the finish of the bike, even if I wrapped it well. The paintwork is not fucking robust. So that's number one. Number two, if I want to choose hillier climbs, I've got the offset of the weight, and I've got the press fit bottom bracket. Now, the press fit bottom bracket is already beginning to creak a little bit on anything over 10%. So if you start putting power down, and I changed out the gear ratios, strangely enough, on this bike, and I think that now I know, well, I don't know, I would ask the question now, why the gear ratios are so high, or low, I should say. So it had a 36 on the chain set front, it was a Tiago chain set, to a 48, which made no fucking sense. So I changed it out for a 36 to a 52, which I quite like, even here. And I've got a 32 on the rear, but it came with a 34 rear to an 11. And I've now got a 32 to 11. So it's a bit nippier on the flats. And it's a bit faster downhill. So you can really pedal downhill and kick some speed into it. Very stable handling, very good in corners, good in the wind because it's so heavy, and it feels robust. But it's anything above 6% over a long period of time, it is going to fucking absolutely kill you. That extra weight and the general, you know, it's trying to get the power through the frame. It's very comfortable long distance bike, and it's good from A to B. And I could see it being amazing in quite a rolling areas of the UK that were wet. But again, I wouldn't use it as a gravel bike. So this is the middle ground. You know, I've got the bits I like about it are actually the bits I don't like as well. And this is where I'm sitting on the fence with it. Don't get me wrong, for the price, it's still very good. It looks great. It looks fucking great. As a complete package, I quite like the bike. But for here, and if this was if I was riding here and this was my only bike, this would not be a bike that I would buy. So that's just an update, really. But for it going back to the UK, if you're in the UK, if you're in a flatter environment, if you're in a very flat environment, I could imagine if you're in Holland or Belgium or anywhere like that, it would be great. I can imagine it being in the UK, down south where I'm from in the UK, it will be good. Around that Dorset area, that will be very, very good. But the real short, sharp stuff, it's okay. But the weight, any longer climbs that you've got, nah. It sucks it out. It sucks it out. And the fucking press fit bottom bracket, nah. Over time, I think that will completely deteriorate. I've got less than 1,000 Ks on it, and anything over 12%, the bottom bracket is beginning to click. So you can feel as you put the power down, you can hear it begins to click. Anyway, guys, that's just a quick update on the Van Rysel NCR Carbon. Yeah, good points, bad points, but like I said, I will always be honest about the reviews that I give. And, you know, I don't bullshit you. And this is why I'll come back over time. Not like these fucking clowns and the clown show magazines that give you one review for every new fucking Dave Arthur. One review fucking rides. He doesn't even ride half the bikes, but you know, if he did, he rode it for 30k max. And you fucking see the knobbles on the tyres and all this fucking crap. Never checks back in. No, nothing remotely honest. They're all the fucking same. I'm not shilling it as well. The other side, like the fucking Map Deck or Scambini, I'm not a Van Rysel dealer. I have got no affiliation with Van Rysel. It's just a bike that I bought. So I'm lucky to be in it, to have the opportunity to actually pass this information on to you. And I'm very, very lucky to be in the position to obviously just buy the bike as something, not for the channel, you know, for myself to see what it's like. But yeah. Right, thanks for getting to the end of this one. Please like, please subscribe. And like I said to you, no bullshit from me. Just honest, sound things that I find out. Very logical, very fucking logical. And I will tell you over time, if it's the best bike that I've ridden and I find it like that, but after 1,000, 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000 miles, it's absolute garbage, I'll fucking tell you. I've got nothing in this to gain from not telling you the truth. So just remember that. And remember that, putting me next to other YouTubers, and then ask yourself that question: are they able to do the same thing as that? I would take it they're probably not. Right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.